With its vast collection of antique tractors, trucks, and buildings, Grove Plantation provides visitors with a fascinating look at the past. Damon Jones visited this hidden gem in Liberty County in southeastern Georgia, and he gives us a closer look.
While these buildings are located in southeast Georgia, it might as well be a completely different world. A world where you'll find no air conditioning or GPS systems, and a gallon of gas, well, it'll cost you less than a dime. Welcome to Grove Plantation in Liberty County, where visitors get to take a step back into the past. And while it might be the size of a small town now, owner Danny Norman says it came from very humble beginnings.
I would describe it as a passion for collecting things that got out of control. We were involved with something yesterday trying to straighten up some of these buildings, and most places like a museum or something will have one item of a certain type. Well, my problem is I've got 25 of those. It just began as a kind of a passion to do something to create a place for a family reunion, and then from there it kind of got out of hand.
And just how out of hand, you ask? Well, the operation boasts more than 40 different buildings, 300 tractors, 125 cars, and even a 1.5 railroad track. And what makes it more amazing is that each of these vehicles are kept in working condition. It's been a labor of love that's taken decades to build.
You know, if you don't dream big, you don't get big. And I always thought that there was a whole lot of this stuff that needed to be preserved, but I underestimated just how many directions you could go. And I've tried to follow, in some small way, a lot of different directions, and it has just continued to mushroom, as you can see.
And that's good news for all the people involved in this year's farm tour, as this was one of the stops along the way. Visitors not only got a chance to get a glimpse into the past, but also live in it. That includes GFB President Zippy Duval, who thinks this is a must-see attraction.
And then we step out here to this place, and it's really a museum, and it's probably the best kept secret in Georgia. Not many people get to see this place, but this is like stepping back in time and seeing things that our great-great-grandparents had to do to exist on the land, and it's just really been a treat for our people to see it.
However, this kind of operation doesn't come without plenty of hard work, as Norman either built or moved each one of these buildings on the property. And with some of the structures being more than 30 years old, daily maintenance is a necessity. However, he says it's a small price to pay in order to give homage to the past.
To be able to preserve some of the things that they had to do, the types of equipment and the types of machinery that they used, I think is important, so we can kind of see how hard it used to be done. Not necessarily we need to go back to that or anything else, but it's certainly, I think, worth honoring.
And that type of dedication isn't lost on the visitors, as they get an opportunity to see just how far the farming industry has progressed.
I'm standing here looking at this today, but 3 days ago I was in Scrivens County on a tractor that was operated by GPS and watching them plant peanuts, and actually rode in that tractor for a few hours planting peanuts with GPS. I mean, just going from one extreme to the other, and I even made the comment to the young farmer I was riding with, what if you had driving this field with a couple of mules and a plow? And he just shook his head, well, there'd be no way to do it.
And it's not just an appreciation for the past Norman hopes guests come away with, but also a sense of pride.
Well, I enjoy the opportunity to be able to show people something that they wouldn't otherwise get to see. Yeah, there's a lot of satisfaction to it, but the real payment was some older gentleman come up to you and say, you know, this makes me remember when I was young and my health was better and life was ahead of me, and it just gives me a good feeling, and I'm experiencing one day in my old age of remembering things that were a lot of fun, and that's a reward to me.
A reward that's shared by each person lucky enough to visit this tribute to the past. For the Georgia Farm Monitor, I'm Damon Jones.